Alright, I might as well start recording this because this is just how we do things on this stream. Before we begin, though, disclaimer. Shadow Gaming is rated M for mature, is intended for such audiences. Possible contents include mature sensitive themes, fantasy violence, topics and discourse, things, things, and language. All interactions during live streams are unscripted and viewer discretion is advised. Thank you. Now, hi, hello. Hey, Opings, welcome, dude. How you doing? So, tonight's gonna be a very interesting night for Destiny Tuesday, because well, first and foremost, I needed to fix my my OBS. So I have that little bit of that issue to deal with. Number one. Number two is hi. I pulled a brain fart and I am here. So yeah. Hello everybody. I hope you're all doing well. It is another fabulous Tuesday before we begin the new episode of Destiny. So, I'm pretty much done with it on my main character, so I don't really have to worry too much about it now. Which is awesome. Because then I could just I just play the game. Why is this not working? Why is my controller not connecting? I don't like this. Uh-oh. Well, we're gonna leave that there for now. That's okay. I can live with this. There we go. Okay, cool. My mouse is over here on my OBS screen. My controller just was not connecting to the game. All it needed was a little bit of some input, and we're good. So I've kind of taken my time to fully customize everybody, get them ready for the next episode's worth of cutscenes and whatnot. So game plan for tonight is I'm gonna go over the dev live stream that they had earlier this morning on Tuesday, October 1st. Because I need to do some coverage on that, since, well, I'm technically a Destiny Let's Player? Let's go with that. I'm a Destiny Let's Player, I'm a Destiny YouTuber, first and foremost by blood, because I've been doing this game for the past decade, so I might as well, like, actually do some journalistic coverage for this, and you guys get to see some, incredibly ad hoc, guerrilla-style, stuff from me. Hello. Where is my mouse? Where is my mouse? Where is my mouse? There. There is my mouse. Okay. So, let me put my... Ow! Silly ant has bitten me. Let me find the developer live stream. I'm not going to go through the entire live stream. Just key parts of it that I wanted to go over with Revenant. Because it's a full hour. I am not going to commit you guys to a full hour. Create new window. Window 1. Share video. That's what we're going to be calling this one. So, because of this, I have to readjust a lot of my sources over here on the Twitch side, or just like here in general. So there you go. You all also get a small look at my you all get a small look at my YouTube algorithm and how I very carefully feed it. Anyways, yeah. To go right into this, why are you doing this to me? Skip. Skip. Skip.
Absolutely.
Skip.
Yeah. And she will be bringing her expertise in herbology and ancient elixir lore to help us.
So basically, point in hand is Ida's gonna be a drug dealer for us. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. So, in short of what's happening in next episode, episode 2, Act 1, Revenant, we are going to be dealing with Fickrel, who is the Baron leader of the, or who is the leader of the Scorn. If you guys played Forsaken back in 2017? 2017? I think it's 2017 now. It's been a long time. It's been a long time. I'm sorry, I'm forgetting. The first DLC of Destiny 2. Fickrel was one of the main big bads that we had to fight, because he was the leader of the Scorn Barons that Uldren freed, which inadvertently got Cade 6 killed. So we haven't seen Fickrel be fully active since then. So now that we've defeated the Witness within the Traveler, shards of it have been released outwards in our soul galaxy, in our soul system. So now we have to find those remnants of the shards of the Traveler and how they affected other parts of the universe as a whole. So that's Fickrel over there.
Through it as well, and I say there's no time like that. So,
Darkness, which
And Jerome was just mentioning the
So one, I'll let them talk here.
tonics and potions that we'll be crafting. They come in two flavors. They come in combat flavors and they come in reward flavors.
Okay.
The combat flavors are going to enhance, or rather boost your artifact perks, specific ones.
yeah.
Higher rarities of these tonics will boost multiple artifact perks, which is
Interesting.
really great.
Okay, yeah.
And then on the reward side, we wanted to create a new or novel way to chase your gear and your weapons that you love.
Yeah.
And we took a lot of inspiration from the success of Into the Light, where players got to attune to specific weapons. And so with your reward tonics, you'll be able to attune to specific weapons within the season.
Very nice.
They're not craftable in this season,
Okay.
which is important to note, but you will be able to target them.
Cool. So this is something that is going to be a key mechanic for next episode, in to affect the gameplay loop. So as he just said, the tonics are going to be able to help, affect us as the player. So every season, every episode, we have like a seasonal artifact that we use to boost our powers, enhance our explosions, things like that, as well as give us all our champion mods. So we get a little bit of that. And then, of course, like he just said, we're not going to have any craftable weapons this season, or this episode. Listen, let's face it, it's a season. It's basically a glorified extended season now. 3 extended seasons till the next major DLC update, which is going to be really cool to talk about with Frontiers. I'm really excited to talk about that next part with Frontiers that I saw during the live stream because, yeah. So, some things they showed off during this live stream is the new weapon that they
Into the
have.
Light. There is the 10 level mode and the 50 level mode, isn't that correct?
Right, so Onslaught Salvation will also be coming with the 3 modes that they've had in the past, which is the playlist 10-wave mode, the normal 50-wave mode,
Cool.
and then we'll have our expert 50-wave mode. And the new thing about Onslaught Salvation, one of the new things, is that it will not be powered fixed like it was prior in Into the Light. It will be
right.
power enabled, so your armor and your weapons will matter even more.
Yeah.
It will be, at the start, more difficult,
Yeah.
but you can, through getting
All right, cool. So that's a key note I want to talk about. So they're gonna be doubling down on a lot of replayability for the content in the game, meaning, so Onslaught is gonna be added. Whatever is gonna be the new seasonal activity is gonna be added. Whatever they also mentioned, they're gonna be bringing back an activity from Destiny 1. I'm hoping it's SRL. If it's Prison of Elders, that's fine too. Either or is fine by me. But yes, so there's going to be a lot more activities that we're going to be able to play through and effectively tunnel through. Now, one thing they're going to be changing up in Destiny 2 this coming episode is that the entire story arc of Act 1 is going to be playable in the first day. For the record, I am not going to play the game in that way. I will still play the game on a week-by-week basis, so that way I can still have a consistent stream of Destiny Tuesdays over on the YouTube side, so you all can actually have the story happening live, and you can catch up with me on the live streams. So if you guys ever want to play through the game, you feel like you're not caught up, you don't have any idea what's going on, come find me. I will help get you caught up and let you know what's happening in the greater universe, as well as how to optimize your builds, how to craft your gear, what weapons you have, what works, what doesn't work, or at least just kind of steer you towards something. I'm not going to tell you, you can only play this way, you only use this gear. I'm not going to be that person. I'm going to at least show you hey, here's what my gear looks like. Take what you will from this information. Take what you will from the information on my other characters. How would it compare to your own? Because when it comes to Destiny, a lot of it is play crafting, and you decide how you want to play. So, a lot of this is, a lot of your weapons, you're going to get a lot of new toys. This is right now a peek at the new grenade launcher that That's going to be the new exotic weapon that's going to be coming in the season or episode. You know what I mean. And you get to create a bunch of stasis crystals. And it's like fighting Lion, where it uses only primary ammo, so it's infinite ammo, effectively. Now, other things of note...
He's features prominently in the season.
Right, yeah.
Because he is inadvertently, of course, responsible for creating Fickrell, and so it's his responsibility as the new Hunter Vanguard to rectify his old problem.
Interesting. Even though he can't be like, hey man, that was Ultron, that wasn't me. He's going to step up and take responsibility for that.
Absolutely.
Old Fickrell's fickle out there.
So yeah, so that's something I'm really excited for. One thing I love that Bungie has been doing within a lot of Destiny stuff is just having a lot of characters just talk with each other, just interact with each other more. And so now this time around, of course, we're gonna have Misrax, Kel of House of Light, Ido is coming back. We're gonna deal with Fickrell, and of course, without Fickrell, we wouldn't have Crow, or without Crow, we wouldn't have Fickrell. You know, that back and forth, because in a weird way, Crow is Fickrell's father, but also not really. But yeah. And for those who aren't fully aware in the lore, Scorn are kind of like zombie-esque Elixni Fallen. So something they did hint at is there's going to be more allies than we thought we'd have. So we'll see where that goes and what's going to happen there.
Cool. That's what I said. Paint it with a meta
here it is.
Rather be very focused on sniper.
As we can see here, let me actually full screen this so you can. Oh my goodness! Oh, dang it. I'm gonna have that meme stuck in my head, and I hate myself for it. As you can see, the important things we want to know for next episode is to affect your loadouts is the champion mods. So as you can see, anti-barrier scout rifles, overload submachine guns, which I am really happy for because full auto overload is a nice way to go. Unstoppable pulse rifle, which, alright, I guess. Anti-barrier shotguns. That's a good one. That's a good one. I'm really happy about that. And overload grenade launchers. So that's going to synergize really, really well with the new one. And so, like, yeah, if you can collect the grenade launcher from this episode as well, combining the two would be pretty nice.
Rifles, solar. If there was a similar theme for this particular artifact, what would it be?
So it goes very hard into stasis.
Yeah.
Like touches all of the stasis verbs. If you want to make a stasis build, you can amplify it in a bunch of ways.
Yeah.
Here, we're also adding a bunch of grenade launcher perks. So we've got overload grenade launchers, which is great, like tagging those like super deadly overload champions.
Yeah.
We're also bringing back a variant of like everyone's favorite grenade launcher artifact perk, Breach and Clear.
Oh, yes.
So you can weaken enemies, and then when you boost it, you can get the second part of that old perk.
Nice.
We were saying earlier, you can boost artifact perks with the potion system.
That's right.
Hell yeah. That's what we're looking for
I'm
here.
selfishly excited to see anti-barrier scout rifle back.
Seeing all the encounters,
Yeah.
and you'll see more Vex than what you're used to.
That's true. I can confirm. My compatriot on the social media team, Mitch, showed me through it a little bit. The only thing I'll spoil is if you like death lasers, you're going to have a great time out there. And then in addition to that, there's one more thing we wanted to add in. Arriving with Act 2, mind you, of Revenant, and I'm going to read this to make sure I get it right.
Act 2, got it.
Inspired from a fan favorite activity from Destiny's past. We're going to go ahead and bring back an activity, but we're not going to tell you anything outside of that. So chat, speculate.
So Act
let us know
2,
what you think. Go ahead and shout us
that's
out,
going to be a keynote.
Twitter,
Act
wherever
2
you like to
is
hang
when we
out
get the
online.
new activity back.
But with that, I think we're go ahead and ready to get ready, pardon me, for the next segment. But in the meantime, gentlemen, thank you so much for taking the time to join us and share a little bit of what's arriving with Revenant. We appreciate your time so much today.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Now, as we transition into our next stage, we've got what we've called in my notes the cool stuff segment, and I think it lives up to that. So we'll go ahead and show you a little bit more of what's to be arriving with Revenant, including what you're seeing here on your screen right now. This is the second earnable skimmer that's going to be arriving in Destiny 2. The aptly named, we'll wait for it to highlight, the Zerf board.
Amazing. They actually did it. We now have the Zerf board. And supposedly this one's you can buy this from Zer, and it's gonna be 94 tokens. So like, hey.
I was so glad.
In
that
case
was
you
the name
missed
that
it.
stuck. As you can see, it features some very unique 9 styling, inspired by Zer himself. Both top and bottom are very arted up. The top's obviously a little bit.
So yeah.
Now it's going to cost for strange coins at Zer to go ahead and get more rolls on your exotic class item.
So yeah.
Grab that Revenant for Twitch rivals.
This is something I'm going to be taking note of. So next Friday is when the new dungeon is going to be releasing. They're going to be doing a dungeon race. So there's going to be a chance to get worlds first. As per always, I'm going to partake. So if you guys want to see that, feel free to come join me. I'm already talking around in the server, so probably Mew might join me. I'm going to poke around and see if anyone's available to come join us and do some stuff. So yeah.
Of this, we're going to be doing a dungeon race in cooperation with our friends over at Twitch Rivals. We've put the sign-up link out there. It's available on our social media channels.
I should actually go do that one. Hold on a minute. Oh, damn it. Okay, hold on. To the Twitter. Destiny the game, Final Shape, September 30th. Where do I sign up for Twitch Rivals? Frontiers, Revenant, Twitch. Oh, here it is. This Week in Destiny, I accept. Vespers host. Signups begin today. Up until October 4th. Bet. Sign in. This is for me. Express interest. How dare. All right, cool. Well, hey, if they put me on there, I'm going to be on there, and you'll see me on the race for day one, raid race. So hey, that's a thing that's gonna happen. Next, no.
Or in the TWID, or if you're out there, sign up with your fire. So provide some additional chances for Bungie rewards. But perhaps what's most interesting about the hoodie is that as a part of the dungeon race, if you're one of the top 3 teams to go ahead and cross that proverbial finish line, then we'll be able to ship out a special embroidered version with your gamer tag on it.
Ooh. So yeah, I want to get that. I want to get that hoodie.
With for yourselves. So Hunters up first. You can see here we've got the Evil Wizard set. I myself am very looking forward to adding this.
So yeah, we're gonna have the Halloween sets coming through. Yeah. So earlier in the year, we got to vote. We got to vote for which armor sets we want. Hunter, Warlock, Titan. Titan looks really crisp, honestly. Like me and you were talking about this earlier. Look at those arms, and like the shoulder pads are just the right amount of just, And I'm not normally one for whole wizardry and magic schools, but these sets look pretty solid, especially after playing Bloodborne. I do want to get a little bit more. I want to get my Warlock in on this one for this episode. I was like, my hunter already did like. He handled the Vex and like exploring the wild jungles of Nessus. It's about time my other characters got a chance to explore and be part of the bigger story. So I do need to finish the campaigns. I'm probably not gonna record the replay of Act 1 on my Warlock. I'll take screenshots for you guys, but beyond that, I'm not really gonna do too much with that.
And I'm gonna be doing that. So where we're forward to Frontier, these 2 fine individuals to my.
So this next section, to be a little bit quick on it and run through, they're going to be talking about what's coming up with the next major DLC, the major expansion with Frontiers. Now, Frontiers is not going to be in the same format of the previous DLCs, in that, like, the Final Shape was the big one, and that Frontiers is going to be a lot more of an open-world expansion, and we're not going to be going to the typical, go here, talk to this person, go there, talk to that person, collect 10 of these things, go to that person again, then go back to person A. It's
I left, which you've met at some point. Allison, how's it going?
Good.
I've seen you.
For D2, it is me and my team's job to tell stories. It's our job to take care of our characters, of our arcs. We make you laugh, we make you cry.
It's not to feel feelings, so
yes.
It's a very upsetting experience.
Planning ahead for the arcs to come.
Yes.
And the saga to come.
I'm okay with this.
Whole new saga. We'll have a little bit to dive into as well today. I know, I'm so excited. And then also sitting next to her days. But if you've tuned into these Bungie streams, Thank you. It's been so long, right? Yeah. My badge changed and everything. On what you do.
Yeah, so one of the main things I do as assistant game director for Destiny 2 is I work on the creative direction and vision for where we're going with Destiny coming up in the future with...
All right, all things go sideways. Make sure to blame him. I'm kidding. But legit, though, huge credit to the Bungie team for doing their best to help keep the game afloat, keep it going, and keeping the story alive, and, like, still giving us a universe to play around and live in.
Coding for a bunch of our other creative leaders on how we shape the future of Destiny to come.
Very exciting, which we are going to be diving into now. I know we've obviously released some blogs about the Codename Frontier stuff already, if you've been out with the team as well. We've had obviously some topics come up that I think we should do this early in the morning. Always the answer I want to hear. Expansions are going to be medium-sized. Can you help us understand a little bit more about what that means?
Yeah, definitely. So expansions are changing going forward with Codename Frontiers. And so our philosophy behind this is moving from one really big, all-consuming tentpole moment that kind of takes all the oxygen in the room at one point in the year to two what we consider big tentpole moments happening in each year. And so those tentpole moments coming twice a year now are going to bring with them fresh content and new stories that are going to move the world of Destiny forward. And to answer your question directly, the way we're kind of looking at the size of these is similar to like Rise of Iron.
They said the magic word, Rise of Iron. Rise of Iron was a very nice... Rise of Iron was definitely a medium DLC. Because the way DLCs have been in Destiny's past, going from Destiny to Dark Below to House of Wolves. Excuse me. Those were pretty small DLCs by comparison. And then when The Taken King came out, that was a big one. Excuse me, sorry. And I'm still incredibly under the weather. And then when we went... So, like, how do I put this? Let me put these in the explanation of a cheeseburger. So, like, if Destiny itself was the full, like, Big Mac Happy Meal kind of thing, then, like, you got the next DLCs of just, like, extra fries, extra burger, right? Now, when Taken King came out, it was another full meal, right? You got the whole shebang. And then, then Rise of Iron came out. It's like the burger and fries, but no drink kind of thing, if that makes sense. But then you go from Destiny 1 to Destiny 2. All right, cool, you got the full thing again. But then came Curse of Osiris and Wrath of the... Warmind. Sorry, Wrath of the Machine. Wrath of the Machine was a raid. Anyways, Warmind was a lot more like, both of those were, like, dismal DLCs. It's like you just got fries, and you paid $50 for the fries. Yeah, that's how bad those ones were. So, when we talk about expansions, it was, like, the big yearly thing. So, Taken King, Forsaken, oh god, what was... Scarlet Keep. I can't remember that one. That's the one DLC that eluded me. Beyond Light. You know, those ones are the major DLCs. So now instead of that, if we're having 2 Rise of Iron level DLCs, then that's like, all right, cool. You know, we're still at least like getting a full package, including the seasons that should come with it. So I'm looking forward to that. Because no matter what you do, every game is still an art project when you take a look at it. You have to experiment, you have to look through, like, you're gonna mess up. So, like, a lot of the fumblings they've had, it happens. But for me, I've still been enjoying a lot of what's been coming through, what's been coming out. And, like, this is, like, even though I'm very biased for loving the game, it's my opinion, and this is what I'm looking forward to. So, if you guys are one way or another, please do leave your opinions down below on what you guys think are going to be happening with Destiny. And, like, what do you guys think on the new expansions and just what's to come with the game? So, what's next?
So, you know, what's kind of... the reason we're talking about this, the rough shape of the box here that we're filling is that... what comes with it is like each expansion is going to have its own unique version of a campaign and post-game experience that you can dive really deep into beyond the initial playthrough, similar to how things like the Dreaming City or the Pale Heart from the Final Shape had worked, where those beyond those initial campaign experiences, there's like further things to explore and secrets to uncover. And so making our expansions unique and deeply replayable is a big goal for us, in large part to support all the new gear and the new tiering of gear that we're putting into the game, right? And so it's one about, so like, you know, each of these expansions, again, they're going to tell a really compelling story as part of our next saga, but I really want to stress that they're also going to be unique experiences.
So yeah. Now, one thing that I would like to critique, and I hope some dev will hear this eventually, is that with an expansion in Destiny, and you're going to have a little bit more of an open world experience to the game, please give us bigger instances to walk around in. Hold on a second. Let me rephrase this. In the form of Destiny as an FPS MMO, loosely using the term MMO, give us bigger instances where we can have more players join us in the free roam of the world. If we're going to be patrolling a world, I only see like 3 other Guardians in the EDZ. Maybe I'll run around the outskirts and see a couple of people at a public event. I don't do patrols anymore. I don't do a lot of these things that the game offers because I, as a longtime player, don't need to. Hell, I haven't patrolled not the Dreaming City. Well, I have patrolled the Dreaming City. I haven't fully patrolled the Pale Heart after beating the campaign. I got all of the aspects that I wanted. I don't need to collect all the rest of it because I don't like using negative aspects or like aspects that debuff me. Or I still haven't even gotten the 10th anniversary armor yet because I don't feel the incentive to go back there by myself. I like to explore, but I want to explore with random people exploring the world with me. Whereas, like, I understand they want us to go into the Pale Heart with our friends or explore on our own. I understand that aspect of it, but I choose not to because, well, after Final Shape, a lot of everyone kind of fell off. And I still love this game, but it's hard to play alone. And there's a lot in that realm that makes it difficult for me to continue. Aside from playing weekly to accomplish the stories and hear what's happening next. So, as a consideration, Bungie, please, if you can, have more free roam capabilities for solo players, or just like Sherpa capabilities, Sherpa patrols, I guess, like something like that. I know I could use Fireteam Finder. That is a possibility, but I like to do it organically. I like going out in the world, seeing someone like have a really funny armor piece, dance with them, go run a public event with them, probably add them after that, because that's part of the MMO experience. Hell, a couple weeks back, I had some fun in the tower because I just saw a fire team talking in the local chat and just shooting the shit with each other, and that's something that I love with an MMO aspect of a game. There is like, on average, you can have 24 people. I think it's 24 people in a tower instance. To me, that's what makes it an MMO. That's really the key element. But moving onwards of Frontiers. So something they mentioned is that gear is going to be another thing.
Unique campaigns and posts
as well, you know, obviously a new experience.
Yeah, definitely. And so for Codename Apollo specifically, the first expansion coming up with Frontiers, you're going to journey to a Metroidvania-inspired destination, right? That's our guiding light for how we're creating this new location.
Yeah.
And so this new destination is going to feature a non-linear campaign that puts you know, in the driver's seat of exploring its world and its story. So this is very different from the past, where you're kind of following a very linear mission structure or line.
Yeah.
That's very simple in many ways. And Allison actually recently talked a bunch about this in a blog post.
Yeah. So when we made the decision to lean into that Metroidvania structure, we knew that the narrative structure had to match, like had to complement that structure as well. And so the way that we're going to treat nonlinearity in Codename Apollo is when you arrive at our destination, which is a new destination, you'll be able to decide if you want to go to region D or region C, or maybe you want to go check out B, because that's going to be where you get the ability that allows you to access region A so you can talk to that character that you really like. We really want that sense of the player being in the driver's seat, of being able to decide where and how they want to explore and discover the secrets that we have in the world.
So before we continue, I really, really like that. I like, number one, I'm excited because she's excited. Like, in Destiny, we've kind of only been in the Soul system. So with a codename like Apollo, that's a good sign. And like, the fact that they mentioned it's a Metroidvania style map, in the vein that like Dark Souls, when you really look at it, is kind of like Metroidvania but 3D. If you go through the first Dark Souls, you find all these different ways to unlock shortcuts. You find different ways to go back to other locations within the map. So the fact that they're giving us a new location twice a year, that's pretty good. With a lot of story beats held within, to unlock the different areas held within it. I'm excited to see that, because a lot of things that a lot of shooter games tend to have is a hallway story. And so with an open world non-linear way, it's gonna be interesting how they approach it. And that, like, okay, normally questline does this. Go here, talk to... I already made this joke earlier, but go here, talk to this person, access that, go kill 20 of these things, collect some of these, go back to there, talk to that person, get the cutscene, go to the radio, wait for next week. You know, that's kind of been the gameplay loop with Destiny. So this is going to be a huge change up in this. So let's continue. I might skip a little bit further.
Whichever of those different choices of the experience, and to help the normal kinds of like activity dialogue that you normally experience in a campaign, but there's also between 25 and 30 different threads of stories that you can discover and chain together after you complete an activity.
This is going to be hard for me because of just how I play, and just I'm just going to have to be constantly recording and like clipping stuff around, because just... oh no, free roam. So yeah, as an RPG player, I explore every single nook and cranny, and like I'm probably gonna miss some kind of dialogue that's gonna throw off like the main story beat of some kind, but we'll figure it out.
Rock somewhere. You can stay on the top future of narrative Destiny, which has obviously been so central to the experience, so core to our characters and our stories. There's been some concern that maybe the new structure might not afford the opportunity for as much story in the past. Can you tell us a little bit about what you guys are planning and what that means?
That would be news to me if it suddenly vanished. I like what
Allison,
I do.
please stay.
Please don't let that. Yeah, exactly.
Is this how we find out?
No, story is Destiny. Like, what makes Destiny Destiny is that beating heart of story at its core. That's not going anywhere. The thing that this new structure allows us comes in two parts for story. Like, part one is pacing. With these 2 tentpole beats a year, the feeling that the world is changing and growing and moving is going to come much quicker now, which means that we can move the plot along at a much quicker pace than we used to. Part two is focus. Because these are much more focused releases, we don't have to worry about padding the sides with a bunch of extra stuff to kind of fill in the space. Like, nope, we are zeroing in on exactly what each of these releases is trying to communicate. And so that means we're going to tell a more focused story, and with pacing that keeps up with what fans want.
I like that. I like that. Again, so this is going to be like a bi-yearly release. They're changing up a lot of the methods and the patterns that we normally have. So the way it works is big expansion, then 3 seasons to help kind of fill in between the next big expansion. So on the scaling of it, if they're going to do Rise of Iron level stories, so it would be more like Rise of Iron Part 1, Rise of Iron Part 2. So imagine it like, okay, the first part of Rise of Iron was, we need to learn what the hell Siva is. We need to make sure that we can contain it, that we can stop the splicers from using it. Then Rise of Iron Part 2 would be when the raid releases. When, like, okay, now we're going to build up our forces together, and then we're going to go do the raid together kind of thing, if that makes sense. That's how I'm interpreting how they're going to be doing the like the new format with Frontiers going forward. Whereas in this one it was, all right, cool. Now we just did the final shape. Now I have the 3 episodes to help suffice. So the fact that these are really glorified extended seasons is good for me, because now the devs have some time to work on this project, which is fine. Like the fact that they have more time to cook in the oven, despite the layoffs, it's fine. So now, going forward, as long as it's not the dismal that we got of, again, Curse of Osiris and Warmind, where it's just like, oh, cool, we got this half-assed DLC to last us 3 months till the next half-assed DLC, till the next 3 months, till finally Forsaken came out, and then Forsaken was a huge boom. And then from Forsaken we had our first look at the seasons, where it was Black Armory, Season of the Drifter, and the Menagerie. That was peak Destiny right there, because you were exploring the huge campaigns. Then they expanded into the worlds. It's sad that those parts of the game are gone now, but the fact that it's going to be a continuously evolving world now, I'm going to be interested in how they pull that off. Because one thing I've been saying a lot in Destiny is it's hard for us as veteran players to go back and teach new players what's up. But we'll continue.
I mean, it's also, too, it's interesting because, obviously the narrative is one to the person, but you guys...
Let's continue on it a little bit more.
Delivering a piece of information to you between...
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's true. It's our new destination, which, like I said, is a new place that we haven't been to before, which means that these people that you're seeing are people that we haven't met yet.
This is really cool. Like, who knows where this is going to be? Who knows where we're going to go during this? Like, I'm excited to see this. I want to see this. I want to explore this. This, alongside just like my Gunslinger fantasy, this is my big reason why I still play Destiny to this day. This. New worlds that I can roam around in first-person perspective. That's why I still play this game to this day. Because Home Slice right here is me. When you really look at it, that's my self-insert character right there, and I get to roam around these worlds. So for people who continue to bash on the game, know that I still love this game. I'm gonna be one of the few people who still love this game. So yeah, every time you guys bash it, you're hurting me intentionally. And yeah, that's all I'm going to say about that. So please, I understand you guys have your gripes about it, but I still love this game to death. So yeah. Anyways.
We're going to art that we
Okay, all right. Plenty to dive into.
New destination like this, like we really think about like what is a storied history that's happened here. What's something that players can like really sink their teeth into and dig deep into. And going into this concept, something that I love about it that's really resonant with me with a lot of the early creative discussions we had on it is that we wanted this place to feel like an exotic world that is just tailor-built around the joy of discovery, right? And then so within this new destination in Apollo, you're going to be discovering powerful abilities in order to uncover secrets in this location and in order to carve a path to the great mystery at the heart of the planet. And that's what like these concepts, when I look at them in retrospective as the team is now actively like building a bunch of this stuff, it's very evocative for me from that feeling of like, hey, how can, it's something Tyson and Alice and I talk a lot about, but in closing speak.
You want to obviously provide the players, you build these well.
Even just like what music you're listening to while you're working on a script. There's a lot of Slaughterhouse-5 inside of this.
Cheery.
We love to look for inspiration outside of just games because there's so much in the world that can fill that tank and get us inspired for what's coming next. And we also look to television, of course, too.
Yeah. I mean, TV and movies is like, you talk about all the line. I mean, Allison as the narrative director, much better at referencing text. I'm a little bit more of a visual guy.
Is that the nice way to say that?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right,
Social media and TikTok have rotted us all.
They've just rotted me. Actually.
Yeah, sci-fi game concept is like, it's familiar in some ways, but as you get closer and you really look at their world, it's really strange and different and weird and mysterious. And it really kind of just builds this halo of allure around it.
Halo. Oh my god, Halo mention. I'm kidding now. So conceptually speaking, this is something I really like. Is just like, one thing one of my favorite artists said is that what really makes an idea original is how you put your spin on it. And so I really enjoy that, like, they are pulling from other mediums. And how do I put this? When I'm inspired, and I pull ideas from other mediums as well, whether it's like 20,000 Leagues from Under the Sea and BioShock, right? When you pull from other ones, you take that idea and then make it your own. One of my pieces I'm writing is Borderlands inspired, but yeah. So it's good that they have a lot of different ways to kind of feel familiar but make it its own and still have that Destiny twist on it. I'm really excited to like do some more gunslinger stuff in Destiny. Like, yeah.
That game.
Allison, I got to put you on the. Hey, even better.
Okay. So imagine going to a mansion, like a really nice, really big, fancy house.
Okay,
and
not just in the tutorial to Tomb Raider.
No, like
Okay, all
like
right.
a nice.
Okay,
yeah,
thank you. Yeah,
So you're going in and looking at like a parlor room or something, and maybe the owner of the house tells you there's a secret door somewhere in here, and you're looking around and you can see the door that you came through, and you can see the window, but it kind of looks like a dead end, like there's nothing in here. And everyone knows that a good secret door comes from like behind a bookcase.
Right.
Like you go up to a bookcase and pull on a book or a little statue that's been in front of your face the whole time, but you just haven't had the focus on it yet. And if you pull on that, it opens up the secret door, and suddenly what was a dead end looks like an entryway.
Yeah.
And that's what this saga is.
Okay.
That is what I'm really looking forward to in the next expansion. So yeah, they're dangling the carrot for me. Like I said, I'm still gonna be playing this game and see where it goes next. One of the last things I'm going to note from this is that armor sets are actually going to matter now, and that, like, when you look through the loot, you're going to be able to, your armor set will actually think. Because I've been saying for a long while now, armor has been really, really, really stagnant, and I have not, like, been needing to hunt down new armor for a long time. Like, I'm fine with what my current setup is. So I'm really looking forward to what's to come in the next DLC.
And now a bunch of amazing armor and weapons now.
There it is.
Why does this matter in the future? And so totally, yeah, that feedback makes a lot of sense to us. And so what's really top of mind and has been for us for a little while now is how we can make not only chasing gear within individual tiers interesting and the whole system interesting, but also how we can make those higher tiers of gear compelling to chase, right? To have that mountain to climb. And so that comes in two forms that I can talk a little bit about today. One, I can go a little more in depth on, which is our next generation armor. That's going to be coming with Codename Frontiers. And then we have some really early thinking for weapons.
Okay.
And so for armor, let's start there.
Yeah.
Is that okay in here to focus a little bit? We want to make it easier to understand, and we really want it to have create new build crafting identities. That's something that's like really close to home for us right now, because we've had a similar system for quite a while. The big pieces is going to be a large stat rework to the armor pieces of armor. So it makes it way easier to quickly compare pieces of gear, and you can better understand that. It's a gear and going like, oh man, and like there's still going to be cases where it's like, oh, it has a lot of resilience, but that's not what I'm building into. But beyond that, right, like how can we answer that question of how can next-gen armor have this new build crafting identity work? We're going to go beyond 100, Andy. Prismatic? So let's talk about strength, for instance. Reduce your melee cooldown like it does today. It would still have that, so that would still be really easy to understand. Point into strength at that point would then give you a chance in order to activate a second melee when power melee becomes charged. Whatever warlock, space magic stuff,
Blades, that's it.
Build craft into that's very different than just like, oh hey, I'm building in melee, actually at the higher and start to strength to melee, so that it's just very specific when you with next generation armor to the game is set bonuses. And so this is something, yeah, I know, right?
Yes.
Yeah, like they're back.
So ready.
Yeah, we've done like some small versions of it in the past, have been like individual releases, but we're looking at this as like a holistic new system that's coming with pretty much every piece of new legendary armor set. Of wearing 2 or 4 pieces of a 5-piece set, so that gives you flexibility in order to wear an exotic at any point. So like, oh, I have tier 1, tier 2 for different build crafting I did, is that like one of the perks the team is playing around with that these new set bonuses could give you could be one that's built all around like Tex Mechanica style play, which is like all about hip firing, right? And all about that yeehaw. And then like the more you build into that, you're going to be buffing your Tex Mechanica weapons. And so that's just like one example, but to manage in your head and also build
stuff. So kind of, you know, how they're going to evolve as well.
Because we have a lot of juicy, good plans coming together. Higher tiers of weapons to chase, like adepts and raid weapons, right? And so those things with them come with exclusive perks that basically, you know, cut above the noise of other weapons you might be earning in any individual release. And
so yeah. So in short, there's going to be a lot to chase. There's going to be a lot to go after. There's going to be a lot of new stuff to hunt down. So what does the future of Destiny look like? It's still unsure. For a lot of people, were pretty much done with Final Shape. For me, I'm still going to be enjoying this ride, and I'm going to be riding this with you guys. So if you guys want to see more of it, you guys know what to do. I say it on this channel plenty. Is there anything else of note that I need to cover? They kind of just kept going on afterwards, so I'm going to get a screenshot here for the thumbnail. There you go. Hi, Giffy. Hi. It's good seeing you. Hello. We were going over the developer live stream. We just kind of finished it. So yeah, but I'm not in any Discord at the moment. But if you want to talk about anything that's coming up, you're more than welcome to come voice some stuff that's coming up. And thank you for the stretch redeem. So yeah, so for the recording side of this that I just did, I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you enjoyed my watch-along review of the developer live stream with my thoughts and opinions. I'm looking forward to the next episode. I'm going to be writing through. I'm not going to dip into it. How about you 1v1 me? I'm down to do that for a little bit. I'm down. Who do you want me to play as is the question. If you guys want to see that, if you guys want to see that, that's going to be an exclusive one on the Twitch side, so make sure to follow over on Twitch too. But yeah. So things of note, Destiny Tuesdays are still going to be happening. I'm going to look to do them on Tuesdays. I'm going to try to shoot for 8 p.m. Pacific as the starting time instead, because that way I could do half of that on YouTube, complete that, do catch up on Twitch with my other characters, and then that way I could still have the rest of my week to do other games. Alright, cool. So with that, I'm going to end the recording here. We're going to do some stuff on Twitch. And then after that, I'm going to be playing through my Warlock so that way we can get you guys caught up on the Final Shape in case you missed it. But until then, I will catch you all on the stream side.